There is no such thing as false twin flames. I just want to get that out of the way right up front for all the Karens who are going to get on this video and leave their little comments. Oh, well, there's no such thing as false twin flames. Yeah, I know, okay? So never mind the title of the video. It's just to get you to watch this video. So welcome. Welcome to my video. There's no such thing as false twin flames. Here's why. You and your twin flame are the same soul. You and your twin flame are the same soul. You are a three-part triune being. Physical body, mind, soul, right? Well, when you do the thing that we call die, the body stops working, it ceases to function, and the mind ceases to exist. All that's left is the soul, the real you, the true self. Right? That's what you were before you came into this life. The soul is who you really are. Okay? Now, what you are not, even in this life, even incarnated here, what you are not is the personality. Let me explain. So there's body, mind, soul, right? Now there's this fourth alien element called an ego, personality, the identity entity, right? And it's an energy body that hovers around the three-part triune being. It's like a fourth element. It's like the product of the three-part triune being. All three components working together, humming along. Over time, you build up this identity ever since you were a little child. And now you've got this identity, this personality, right? I'm this kind of person. I do these things for a living. I like these things. I don't like these things. You know, whatever it is, that's your identity. That's where you derive your sense of self from. And in traditional spiritualism, what they point out is, well, okay, and that's fine if you have a personality and you like your personality, all right, but that's not really who you are. The true self is deeper than thought, okay? The personality is an accumulation of thoughts and emotional patterns that have stuck over the years, retained thought and emotional patterns, and it creates that fourth element, that energy body called an ego, personality, right? The identity entity. And when it's triggered, we call it the pain body, right? And it runs deep. There's stuff in there that's from before you can really consciously remember. Like, think of like, how far back can you think? Like your earliest childhood memory, right? How old were you? And most of you might say, I don't know, 2, maybe. I can remember a couple of things from when I was 2, but a couple. That's it. Some people 5 or 6 years old, maybe, you know. But there's stuff from like way, way back in the early days that's still in there, right? And you just kind of subconsciously react to that stuff. So the ego personality is kind of this sophisticated energy body, okay? And that's what people are thinking of when they're thinking in terms of false twin flames, okay? Or even their twin flame, which is even worse, because then it keeps you, when you look at your twin flame from the place of ego personality, it kind of keeps you stuck, because you're focused on these mental or even physical forms like the actual twin flame person. Okay? So now that I got that out of the way, here's the deal. You and your twin flame are the same soul. You're not the same ego. There is a polarization at the level of the mind, and it's more functional. It doesn't really matter. You might go watch my video called What Are Twin Flames? If you're new here, it's easy to find. There's a playlist where all of my videos where I talk about twin flames can be found, including that one. The name of that playlist is called How to Get Your Twin Flame. Go find that playlist on my channel. It's the second video, What Are Twin Flames, where I explain all that. Okay, so the polarization is at the level of the mind, which is what causes them to run from you, by the way. Go watch that video, What Are Twin Flames? But what really counts, what I'm really getting at here, is you guys are the same soul, and it's completely uniform. There is no polarization. It's totally, totally uniform. And by the way, again, when you do the thing that we call die, the body goes away, the mind goes away, all that's left is the soul. And the soul is consciousness. The soul is not thought. It's not the ego, personality, the identity, entity, what you believe your sense of self is. Oh, I'm thinking these things. I'm feeling these things. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's the ego. And I'm not saying that's bad. That's just what that is, right? The true self is much deeper. And if you embrace your ascension, if you embrace traditional Zen spiritualism, which is what I encourage my students to do, you start to have these deeper spiritual realizations of who and what you really are. And it is so much deeper than thought. It's this deeper awareness. It's consciousness. Your very life. It's so much deeper than thought. It's so much deeper. That's the soul, and that's your twin flame. And by the way, this is what I teach my students. I've got over 2,000 students. I got my twin flame to come be with me, right? Why? Because I teach you how to let go of the physical person and align with your soul. Have those deeper spiritual experiences. And that's how you get your twin flame to show up. Stop running, stop rejecting you, stop acting like a narcissist, right? All those things, they stop doing that when you embrace your ascension in that way. Now, here's the thing with false twin flames. That's another soul. That's a different soul. It's a different soul. You and your twin flame are the same soul. Your twin flame is the only other person in the whole universe who is you. So soulmate, karmic, false twin flame, if you want to label other people, karmics and soulmates and even a false twin flame, okay. I mean, all right, whatever, if that makes you feel better, but that's really subjective. I mean, there's a lot of people in the world that could do a lot of harm to you. There's a lot of people that could hurt your feelings, treat you bad, do nasty things to you, and that's ordinarily what we call like a false twin flame or a karmic or something like that, right? There's a lot of people that you could meet where you have a really amazing connection with, like your best friend or a family member or a lover. Maybe you have a soulmate connection with somebody who's a family member or a lover or something that was a really amazing connection or something like that. But that could be a lot of people. There could be a lot of people who you've known from past lives and all that kind of stuff. And even though you've known those people for so many lifetimes, it is true that they are another soul. And I'm not saying that's bad. That's just what that is. That's actually a beautiful thing, right? But the same is true with so-called false twin flames and karmics and those types of things. Those are other souls. Those are other people completely who you maybe met along the way several lifetimes ago, or maybe in this lifetime for the first time, right? But your twin flame is not subjective. It's objective. It's empirical. You guys are the same soul. You guys are one soul. So if you label someone a false twin flame or a karmic, again, well, there could be a lot of people that are going to do nasty things to you in this world. And you might even have soul connections, quote in quotation marks, soul connections with other people from other lives where they did good or bad things to you that you're not going to reconnect with in this life, but you will connect with them in the next life, let's say. You don't even know. I mean, how would you know that, right? I'm just saying hypothetically all these things about how many different people there are in the world and how many other souls there are. I mean, billions, right? And you don't know all those people. There could be a lot of people that could do good or bad things to you. You don't know. But just because somebody hurt you, you're going to give them a subjective label. You're going to say, oh, well, this person, they're a karmic, or this person, they're a false twin flame. And that's fine. I mean, there's not even really anything wrong with that. But at the end of the day, technically, there's really no such thing as any of those things. We just kind of made those labels up. Okay, and I even use the label soulmates. I do sometimes to describe connections with people where you can tell, like, yeah, I know that we knew each other in a past life. You can tell. And I call that a soulmate. But it's my choice to call it that, technically. I mean, really, if you think about it, because even though we met several lifetimes ago, we did somewhere along the way meet. You know, whereas with your twin flame, it's not that you never met each other and then maybe 5 or 6 lifetimes ago you met for the first time. The universe has existed for 13.7 billion years. You and your twin flame were created together at the same moment at the very beginning of the universe. And there's only one other person just like you. It's your twin flame. That's objective. You guys were created together. Okay, this isn't like somebody who you met along the way and you guys just kind of made a connection maybe a few lifetimes ago or in this lifetime, or somebody that hurt you. You know, a false twin flame that you met in this lifetime. You know, that's just somebody you met. And maybe you've even known that person for several lifetimes and you've done hurtful things to each other over several lifetimes. I don't know, but you guys were not created together at the same moment at the beginning of the universe. That's what your twin flame is. Okay, they are you in another body. You are one being. You are one soul. Okay, that's what your twin flame is. It's very objective with your twin flame. It's very black and white. They are you. Everybody else is just everybody else. That's all that is. And there's a lot of everybody else's out there, right? And you could label them good or bad. You could have a good or bad experience with everybody else. Learn lessons, you know, have good connections with people, bad connections, and whatever you label them is just whatever you decide to label them. And that's fine if you want to label it that way. That's not a problem. But with your twin flame, totally different, totally different. It's really cut and dry. So technically, there's really not any such thing as false twin flames, guys. There's really not. It's just somebody that you met that hurt you and it was really bad, you know. Nothing ever came of it. You know, that's kind of what people, I think, are talking about when they talk about twin flames. Totally fine if you want to call it that. It doesn't matter. I'm being really exacting, right? Technically, there's not really any such thing as soulmates or as false twin flames or karmics or any of that. Those are just, we just decided, oh, I've got this relating experience with this person. I'm going to call it this. Even people you've known, again, people you've known for many lifetimes. You know, it's really just you deciding, hey, you're cool. Let's keep hanging out. You know, let's hook up in the next life too. Maybe we've known each other for all these lifetimes or whatever, right? But you and your twin flame always were. You always were. It's very, very cut and dry. Very, very cut and dry. It's intrinsic. Okay, it's part of what you are. Okay, with everybody else, it's not really intrinsic. It's more subjective. So there you go, guys. I hope that makes sense. You don't have to agree with me. It doesn't really matter. These are just labels. Twin flame is a twin flame. They are you. Everybody else is just everybody else. That's kind of just what I really wanted to talk about. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you next time.